People in the fitness industry have got it backwards. I know I did when I first started. See, what happens is we start to exercise first. We go in there, exercise, and then because we've been moving, we get thirsty. And because we get thirsty, we then are hungry and we end up eating more. And then from there, we end up crashing. And this whole adage of I'll sleep when I'm dead starts to come through, and we're all like, oh, why am I not getting good shape? We gotta invert it. Truth be told, the biggest results are gonna come from your sleep. Secondly, you have to hydrate before you exercise, right? And then also you have to build that exercise around sport-specific nutrition. This is the whole world and things that I did not know when I first started out, okay? The returns are exponentially greater. And the reason why we're talking about this is because the lifestyle audit that you've just done is indicative of what are you spending your time doing. Okay? Genetics do not play in until you've comparably done the same work. Someone would say, oh, Kyle, you have genetics to support good health and fitness. I'm like, yeah, but I've been training 5 days a week on average. Some weeks I miss if I'm on vacation for 12 years. Have you done that? Because if you haven't, then we're in the money here. We're gonna try to rebuild your lifestyle. There's 168 hours in a week. And if you have 150 hours using somewhere else, it means you have 18 left. Now, these are hypothetical numbers. If you've just done this lifestyle audit, you'll see that there are a lot of extra hours to be used. And let's say you're one of the lucky individuals that uses all of your time. If you haven't made time to exercise, it means you're using your time in inefficient areas. This doesn't make you a bad person. This doesn't make you an ineffective person. This might mean that you don't have a good enough balance in your life to achieve health and well-being, okay? It's not biceps, it's not chest and abs. Some exercise is just better to reduce pain and keep you in good posture. So whatever your reason to exercise, we need it physiologically. Human beings need exercise, but what we need in a modern environment is a compartmentalized system of how to live your week. Now, I don't mean to be super rigid, but what's gonna happen over time is you're either going to struggle early, build this rigid system, build a lifestyle of how to live healthily, learn, make money, be effective, be a good partner, good family member, all of these good things that are important for well-being, or you're not. And then the suffering that you have to do now to build a lifestyle is then exponentially greater at the end of your life. The relevancy of why we're doing this lifestyle audit and why you've completed it here is massive. And there's so much more to be learned about it. What's important to understand about this inversion of exercise, right? The first one is sleep. It is the far more important factor in health and well-being and your capacity to build muscle and lose weight. Secondly, water is massively important. Third, nutrition, you're never gonna lean out. Abs are not made in the kitchen, they're made in the bed first with good water, and then they're made in the kitchen. Number 4, corrective exercise. If your posture is shit, if you're in a bad position, then your ability to be able to get in good shape is going to be limited. Watch what happens to my chest here, okay? If I have poor rounded posture, okay, how impressive is my chest right now? It's not. But most people train a ton of chest and a ton of biceps because they're starting with exercise. They're not starting with correctives, because if I were to train my back and strengthen my back, my chest now becomes a lot more prominent, right? My chest is a feature, right? If you train it too much and it becomes too strong, it ends up rounding you over and you don't look very big at all or have any aesthetic influence on people. And then from here, if you do the correctives to pull your shoulders back, you're in a much better shape, okay? The reason why I'm trying to instill sleep, water, nutrition, good movement, corrective exercise, and then fitness is because if you do it like this, you're gonna get your results way faster, right? Oftentimes when I'm working with clients, I've been a coach for a very long time, people don't sleep well. And then they do all these things right and they're still not losing weight because blood glucose levels are massively regulated and thrown off like crazy if you're not sleeping, but way more important if you are. Now, what's really important here is to make sure that you're living a balanced life. I'm not saying you can't play video games. I'm not saying you can't zone out on Instagram, but I am saying we all do better with rules. I mean, look at it this way. If you do go beyond your predetermined, like you've mapped it out and looked, 2 hours of video games a night, let's say you play 3 hours of video games a night. At the end of a year, that's 365 hours you could be using something. Now, most people spend more, this is an average statistic, more than 2 hours on social media scrolling, wasting time. Not that there's anything wrong with that per se, but you're not doing anything to benefit your life outside of being sold what's ever being thrown in front of you. Now, you can build rules because 2 hours of social media is over 600 hours a year that you can use on your life to make yourself better. In terms of a work week, that's thousands of dollars, right? Just understanding the math, learning to build rules in your life is the backbone of how you're gonna be successful. Rules to build into your life, right? Finding people to hold you accountable, finding coaches to make your life better, getting mentors, finding people to make you a better person. Now, how do you do this, right? I'm not saying don't play video games. I'm not saying I'll never play a video game in my life. I'm not saying I'll never watch TV. I'm saying there is time to be used. And if you've just done this lifestyle audit, you'll realize if there's 168 hours in a week, and let's say you're using 167 of them, as soon as you play an extra 2 hours of video games, it's gonna start to eat into sleep time or exercise time or social time or well-being time or work time. You're not gonna have enough time to do it. And this is the essence of time management, right? You don't have to be, always looking at your schedule. Just know that, if you only have a lot of time this week to play 2 hours of video games each night, then that's all you can do. Don't play 3. You're eating into your future well-being. It's extremely important that you understand this balance. So I can teach you a lot more about how to rebuild this. You just gotta check out the journaling process that I've put together through a system of mentors, taking information all the way from Thomas Edison to impressive people like Warren Buffett and more local mentors to me, Kevin Darby, just taking all of these really impressive people, building it into a journaling process that's been working for me, that I've been applying to my life, to get myself into the greatest shape, to help myself propel myself further forward in my career, in my relationships, all of these things. This journaling process is the backbone of my life, and I'm not saying this to preach, I'm saying this because it's true. From there, if you keep finding value, we've got books, we've got fitness training programs that label out all of these priorities step by step and teach you along the process about how to get personal trainer level knowledge of, for me, 10 years of consistent growth reading and courses and seminars and lectures to be able to give it into a program as best as I possibly can. Us at the Endgame Fitness are trying to make your life a better life. This is all about your future in fitness, people. So make sure you grab that free journal below, and I'm gonna see you guys inside.